Let's take a look at Kaho Backwoods hole 5. I think there's a couple discs that work pretty well here. Perhaps one of the better ones is the Accurate Extra Glide Grace, but I also use the Accurate Windbreak Musket in really adverse winds. But in this one, I think we'll go with the Grace. We're going to slide to the right. I'm going to put the chevrons about right here, and then it's going to be a straight pull back. That's going to move out to the left just a little bit to avoid those trees and should end up relatively close. 68 feet with a 2 winds, not going to impact it a whole lot, so should be a relatively easy birdie, which this hole usually is a relatively easy birdie. Some of the winds can get a little tricky. Some of them want to try to push you into the water. This one wants to try to push you along. So for this wind, I'm going to switch to the Accurate Windbreak Musket, and I'm going to aim a little closer to this gap and try to come straight back and see if the wind will push me through that gap, and then hopefully not push me too long. Yeah, that's pretty good. One of the more adverse winds is the 3 wind that's trying to push you to the water there. I don't know if I'm going to get that, but that one, if you use the musket, it usually works pretty well. You just have to remember to stay left through this gap as much as you can. Here we're going to go with the Grace again. Grace has got a really nice shape for this hole right through that gap, and usually a pretty good distance. Occasionally it will go a little bit long. This is going a little long. With a real big tailwind, it'll go a lot long. So you get a real big tailwind, you probably do want to disc down to the musket. But yeah, nothing terribly challenging on this hole. I mean, you can find trouble, but here I'd consider that a bit of an adverse wind, so I'm going to go with the Accurate Windbreak Musket. We'll do one more. And this time I think I'm going to give it just a little bit of, tiny bit of hyzer. Or, yeah, tiny bit of hyzer, sorry. Just to fight that 3 wind a little bit. There you go. I know a lot of guys prefer the Accurate Roll Musket for its quick stop. I've always bagged the Accurate Windbreak, and I just got used to it, but I do think it's a very useful attribute when you come upon these adverse winds. So that's a quick look at Kaho Backwoods hole 5. I hope you learned something, and we'll see you around the valley.